Hi, I'm Paul from Marathon Handbook, and today I'm joined by Hayley, who works with me, and we're going to look at, in particular, women's footwear and some of the best suggestions in various footwear types and various categories. Hayley, first of all, tell us a little bit about what you're up to with your own running at the moment.
Bit of a mixture, really. So I've done half Ironman before, and I've done several different Ironmans, as you know, Paul. I'm currently sort of doing the half distance and trying to work on my speed, so some of the shorter runs, 5 and 10Ks.
I am trying to coach Hayley to be a little bit quicker, but that's something we're working on. So let's dive into the shoes. So first up, the Adidas Ultra Boost Light. Now this is the latest version of the Ultra Boost. The Light name is just for the latest model, but essentially it has been pretty much unchanged throughout the various generations. Now you found it to be a very popular shoe when recommending it to several women in the shop. What do you like about the Ultra Boost?
For me, it's a great shoe because it's got a really high stack cushion, so it's really bouncy and you really feel the boost coming through when you're actually running in it. It's really spacious at the front as well. That upper sock, it's really flexible, fits really nicely, and it just gives a really good all-round kind of really comfortable shoe. Good for the longer distances when you're on your feet for a longer time.
It does look really quite big. It's got a 30 millimeters, although it does look more than that. The foot does sit a little bit down within that stack. We've got 30 millimeter stack in the heel, 10 millimeter drop, 20 millimeters of cushioning in the forefoot. £170 in the UK. I've ran in several versions of the Boost since it was launched just over 10 years ago now, and it's always been a very popular shoe, very responsive, and like you say, that kind of sock-like feel always proves to be very popular. So that's in the cushion category, the Adidas Ultra Boost Light. So the next category we're looking at is the best support shoe for women, and I know you recommend this a lot, and when using the gait analysis, the 860 V13.
It's one of my favourites actually, so I tend to overpronate on my right foot as well, so I found this shoe works really well for me. It's got great structure through it, it's really comfortable, very cushioned as well, and it's probably why it's one of the ones I recommend the most, because I've personally felt the benefit of it and just find it really comfortable, Paul.
The fresh foam cushioning is very popular across the whole New Balance range. £140, $140 in the US, and it's kind of got the traditional medial post in there for support, so works really well. It's one that when we're using gait analysis, it kind of does show a good contrast between a neutral or someone who's overpronating and the level of support, so it's easy to see what it's doing, and I think people can notice and feel what it's doing, and by looking at the gait analysis on the video, you get that reassurance of the job that's going on. It's quite light, 243 grams, 8.6 ounces, 10 millimeter drop, so we got 27 mil of cushioning in the heel, 17 in the forefoot for that 10 mil drop. New Balance 860 V13, great shoe in the support category for women. Best trail shoe for women, Peregrine 13. This is the Gore-Tex version as well, which is often popular. Gore-Tex, the waterproof version. So you've got Gore-Tex and non-Gore-Tex options available. £130 in the regular in the UK, £140 in the US, £140 in the UK for the Gore-Tex version, and $160 in the US for the Gore-Tex. Peregrine 13. 13th generation shoe. It's all about a great combination of cushioning and that great grippy traction on the bottom there.
Yeah, I think for me, again, it's probably the theme running throughout in terms of the shoes that I like, is that it's that comfort factor, so it is that cushioning, which is why this is one of my favourite trail shoes as well. I tend to do a lot of canal running as well, so trails going down onto the canal, and again, having that cushioning underneath when the ground's a little bit harder is really nice, but equally you've got great grip as well, so it's actually probably one of the few trail shoes that I've not fallen over in, or not fallen over in regularly, which is always a bonus. So yeah, comfort, the Gore-Tex again, they last very well as well, so you get good value for money from this one, and generally your feet stay pretty dry.
The Gore-Tex option in any trail shoe is always my choice. I know some people do have their criticism of Gore-Tex shoes, talking about if the water gets in, it can't get out. For where I run, it's really wet grass, mud. small puddles. I'm not going through rivers or river crossings, so I'm not too bothered. I'm not going to go over the height of the ankle in water. So I just like the extra versatility I get from the Gore-Tex upper.
It's actually really flexible as well, which I think some people have asked me about in the shop when they've got Gore-Tex on, is there still the flex in the shoe? And I certainly find this very flexible as a trail shoe as well.
For sure, yeah. The latest generation of Gore-Tex uppers is a really thin laminate, very lightweight as well. And you can tell in this one, there's plenty of give in there, so it's not an issue. It doesn't feel like you're running with plastic wrapped around your foot like you may have done in shoes a few seasons ago. 28mm cushioning, 24 in the forefoot, so a 4mm drop, a little bit lower. Again, on trail shoes, I don't think you notice that as much because with the uneven nature of the terrain, you are landed a little bit more mid to forefoot and kind of planting your foot with a little bit more consideration and awareness of what's going on the terrain. So great choice for trail. Next up, we're going to look at the best shoe for beginners. Brooks goes 15, the latest generation. Always a popular shoe, Hayley.
Oh, without a doubt, and it's where I started as well. The Brooks Ghost, it's just such a solid shoe. Again, very comfortable, lots of cushioning, really responsive, and most people when they put it on, you know, especially beginners for the first time, the phrase, "I feel like I'm walking on clouds," is often said. Very comfortable, really spacious at the front as well, so quite forgiving, and obviously as they're getting used to running and the feet swelling, it's just so comfortable all round, really nice fit, really good shoe for a beginner, and when I'm working, definitely the most popular sort of neutral shoe.
It is a very popular shoe, and it's one that it's a real honest shoe. The cushioning's great, the stepping comfort is lovely, the wraparound feel, the upper has a slight stretch nature to it, so people do find it comfortable straight away. Nice and light, 258 grams-ish, 9.1 ounces, 12mm drop, 35mm of cushioning in the heel, dropping to 23 in the forefoot. It's that DNA foam midsole from Brooks, light, responsive, just a great all-round shoe. And even the traction on the outsole, it's very versatile. You can cover light trails, so for a one-stop shoe, particularly for beginners, really can't go wrong in the Brooks Ghost 15. The next shoe we're looking at is the best racing shoe. I know this is one that you've worn yourself, Hayley. It's the Launch GTS from Brooks. It's another Brooks shoe. It's a great value shoe. It's a versatile shoe. You can train in it, you can race in it, you can do sessions during the week. And if you're not wanting to spend the big £250, $250 plus money on carbon plated shoes, then I think it's a great option.
Yeah, definitely. I think as Paul said at the beginning, he is coaching me to try and run a little bit faster. So I've been using this shoe mainly on my speed sessions, on the treadmill, and the shorter kind of 5K runs where I've been trying to work on my pace. And I can certainly feel the difference. It's a real light shoe, and that's obviously helping me with my speed. It's very comfortable still though, so it's got great cushioning, really comfortable. Obviously the guide rail technology from Brooks is helping me with that pronation that I mentioned earlier as well, so it's correcting any kind of misalignment going on when I'm running as well. Really nice, really light, stretchy upper on the top as well. Great fit, nice shoe.
Yeah, great value as well.
Yeah.
£110, $110, 200 grams, 7.1 ounces. So nice and light, lighter than any of the other shoes we mentioned here. So you do feel the benefit, the difference when you step into the Launch. It feels lighter, so it gives you that racy feel. And it's a good all-round shoe for beginners as well as racing as well, if you don't want to spend the big bucks. We were chatting about the various categories of shoes and what we should include in this video, and one of the most common questions or injuries we get is about plantar fasciitis. Now this seems to be quite a common injury, more common with our women customers, and essentially with plantar fasciitis what you get is a straining of the plantar fascia tendon under the arch, and without a doubt, anecdotally, evidence tells us that the best shoe for that is the Wave Inspire from Mizuno. You've dealt with lots of customers as well with this shoe, Hayley. Always seems to hit the target.
Definitely, I think it's the structure here where the support that's built into this shoe. It's a very subtle wave, hence the name, that runs throughout, and I think it provides, when I'm working with people that have got plantar fasciitis on the treadmill and we're doing the gait analysis, the comfort that they talk about when they put this shoe on versus some of the others with the support is unparalleled, I'd say. And genuinely, I think it's from the structure and the way that support support is built in a really kind of flowing format. Outside of that, it's a very comfortable shoe, great cushioning, really nice fit, flexible on the upper as well, quite wide actually on the front as well. So again, there's lots of space in there. So for somebody that's got an injury where they're feeling more sensitive when they put the shoes on, this is a great option. But as Paul says, the top one, I think, from a plantar fasciitis perspective.
For the last 10 years, it has been noticeable that when dealing with people with plantar fasciitis, when we try various support shoes, the vast majority of the time, they tend to put the Inspire on and talk about the fit through the arch. It's almost like it's hitting the spot. The structure of it internally is very nice and fills that space under the arch and takes some of the relief of the plantar fascia tendon. Another consideration is it's a 12mm drop in this shoe, so that in itself takes a little bit of the pressure off the plantar fascia tendon. £140 in the UK and $140 in the US. Great recommendation for people suffering with plantar fasciitis, the Mizuno Inspire. You wanted to mention this one. It's the Lululemon Bliss Feel 2.0. We're putting this down as the best gym shoe.
Yeah, the best all-rounder, I always refer to it as. So it's great if you're doing a slow run, but I use it generally in the gym. So if I'm on the treadmill, doing some circuits, doing some weights, it's an all-rounder. And I think, from my personal opinion as well, I think it's quite a stylish shoe. I think Lululemon have really nailed it in terms of the aesthetic on this one. So not only is it really comfortable and responds to a variety of different exercises, it actually looks good as well, which is always a bonus.
£138 in the UK, $148 in the US. 9mm drop, 33mm stack in the heel, 24 in the forefoot. Comes in at 276 grams or 9.7 ounces. Got a slightly wider base to it, and I think that's what helps when you're doing various gym movements and the kind of lateral side-to-side movements as well. Got these kind of wings, shall we call them, that come into the heel counter around the rear of the foot here, and they really do provide a snug support through there. But generally, a lot of the engineered design to the upper is there to wrap around and hold the foot in place, and I think that's why it works well as both a running shoe and a gym shoe too. So that's the Lululemon Bliss Feel 2. So there we have it, our selection of the best shoes for women in various categories. Hope there's something there that you find useful. Please do feel free to comment below if you've got any questions, any particular injuries or shoes that you'd like us to discuss and talk about in the future. But for now, thanks for watching and we'll see you soon.